everybody. So, this is Candice Buchanan, and of course, DJ JSL J.
It's Jay if we're friends, you know.
Well, go on, Jay. Well, go on. How are you?
Justin, if you're my mom. Or Candice, I guess. I'm well. How are you?
Good, good. So, Jay, talk to me now. We just interviewed the mayor, Hazel Rogers. So this is kind of like the post live of the live for Island Fever. And we brought up a number of things. She was having a bit of technical issues on her end. But as a Caribbean American, go again?
The energy got through though.
Yeah, it did. Always a pleasure to have the mayor on with us. Now, I kind of want to talk to you a little bit about this past week. It's a very important week this week coming up. Early voting begins in Florida on Monday. But some of us have already voted by mail, namely you. I'd like you to kind of walk us a little bit through the process for yourself. Is this your first time voting by mail?
First time. I'm typically, and maybe it's the Caribbean skepticism in me, but I like to actually go and like write the name and put it in the box so I can verify.
In the box yourself.
So they don't, you know. But this time it was weird, but it's basically same old. I guess we're creatures of habit. Just make sure that you sign where they tell you to sign, and you know you follow all the directions.
Whatever signature you gave them. For me, I couldn't do that because my signature changes with my feelings anymore. So like I'll have a swoosh one day and I'll not have a swoosh the other day. And
right.
Yeah, so you can't depend on my signatures. They need like fingerprint signatures now. I can't.
And it's really iffy because they make sure to put in big bold letters on the envelope. I think I have an envelope somewhere around here. You know, if your signature is not right, we're gonna throw this out. And I'm just like that. Okay. I guess this is what we're doing. So hopefully it works out. God willing.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can.
Just cross. So Jay, he's really in real life going for his ballot right now. He's going for his ballot right now. So Jay, I actually got they've been spamming me like crazy because I'm a registered Democrat, and they've been spamming me like crazy for me to vote by mail. But because of my signature issues, I know myself and I want my vote to count, and I'm not here for the finagling. So I definitely am going to be doing my early voting. I will be voting this week. You know, thankfully, I live in a community where they make voting super easy.
Must be nice.
But I'm code 4.
Must be nice.
So I don't have any lines. I don't have long lines, and I have like 5 different polling stations I can choose from. And life is good.
So you're stush. Stush is what you're saying.
Pardon me?
You're stush. You're privileged.
No, well, you know, I work hard to get to live where I live, but the point I'm trying to make is not everyone is afforded that opportunity, and I think that's so wrong. No?
The system is working. You know, if it was designed to be effective, we would have had apps by now.
Yeah, because I feel like we are communities of color are marginalized, are given no opportunity. And it is so wrong. And I cannot understand in a country like this, or this scale, that's been doing this a hell of a lot longer than, say, a country like where I'm from. I'm from Jamaica. Your family's from Haiti and Jamaica. But so you understand, even in your country, like people actually, it's a holiday. Voting is a holiday. There's no work on it.
Jamaica got it done. Jamaica got it done a couple months ago in the midst of the whole COVID thing. And
everybody voted. Yep, we got it done. It wasn't a big deal. We voted.
America's just ghetto. That's what I chop it up. That's fine.
I saw something on Facebook and they said it's America is a third world country with a fake Gucci belt. And I was like, that's so accurate.
Yeah. In some places. And then in other places, it's
Oh man.
a little bit nice.
I thought it was funny, right? So people, this is not my opinion, all right? It's just so funny. Okay.
That's definitely my opinion.
Third world
I
country.
co-sign that.
Because there are way too many people hungry in America, right? And there are way too many people dying in America, and way too many people who are not well, way too many people who are ill. And healthcare is like a business, which is weird to me.
Just stupidity. That's unnecessary. And it's unnecessary because, again, the next town over is like, we don't have none of this.
Yeah.
Like, we're good over here.
I have no problem. I have like 4 hospitals to choose from. I have my polling stations are all within a 10-mile radius of me. They're all empty. It takes like 10 minutes to vote. There are like 5 people in the line in front of you. There are like 12 people sitting there for like all the voting machines that's there to assist you. It's ridiculous. And I'm going, why can't they do that in other communities? Yeah. It's mind-boggling.
On that note, I want to say, welcome to YouTube. This is our first time on YouTube. It only took you like 5 minutes to start sounding privileged. So if you're not as privileged as Candice Buchanan and you have to wait an hour and a half to vote, go ahead and jump in the comments and let us know about the situation in your community. We want to hear from you.
Damn, I don't like you. I don't like you at all.
We want to hear from our peeps.
That's true. That's true. Let us do that. That's true. Let us do that. I'm about to share this. I'm trying to share it. I know, but I'm trying to share it, but it's not working out on my page. Okay, so I'll get off Facebook.
if you didn't like me, we wouldn't be speaking for hours in the wee hours of the morning.
Yeah,
like we were today.
Yes, true. So let's get to the topics. So pretty much, tell me, what is it that irked you the most about the fact that we had to be clicking between both candidates to kind of catch bits and pieces of what they were saying or what their plan was for the country?
Didn't hurt me at all.
No.
It's 2020. At this point, I'm not watching your thing live unless you think it's worth my time. Mm-hmm. And the presidential election this year isn't worth my time, so I can definitely just go back and watch it on YouTube after the fact. I'm not losing my sleep for these people. I refuse.
Okay, but it is worth your time to vote.
I voted already.
Right.
Really simple.
Okay. I just want to make sure that message is clear, that you voted already. So
and here's the thing.
Nothing else matters. You let your voice be heard. For the people who haven't voted yet, we want to make sure that you guys go out and you vote. It's very, very important. Allen Fever FM will be working with you guys as best as we can to get the vote out, get our Caribbean Americans out or African Americans out, even our white folks that we know, friends of our peeps. They can, we're bringing everybody out to vote on election day. We will be in the streets, just checking in with everybody, seeing how everybody's doing, taking your temperature on what's going on. And we'll be also posting things here on our YouTube channel as well throughout this election process. There's one thing that I want to talk about, Jay, that a lot of people have not really spoken on, and it's this year, this election cycle especially, and I don't know if it's because we have a Jamaican American on the ticket or someone of Caribbean descent or partial Caribbean descent on the ticket, but there's a lot of targeting being done towards the Caribbean American community by the Democratic Party. The Republicans are not even trying. They are not even trying to talk to us. They don't want to hear from us. They don't think we're important, apparently. Is this something that you've seen as well? Like there's like a laser focused targeting to speak to us as a community. And I believe this is for the first time. Usually we're lumped into the African American community. Or if they think Caribbean, they think Latino. And this is the first time I've really seen them look at us as a community with some power that they need to go after.
It's interesting. The vibe is definitely different. I will say there was a Caribbean person, a Jamaican American that wasn't on the ballot. However, he was in the process, and that was one of your beefs last year, was that it's almost like they kind of put him in the corner and didn't even acknowledge him.
Yeah.
So I think hopefully somebody in the room noticed that and kind of picked up that, it didn't burn us this time. Well, you guys lost. So maybe it did burn us. Maybe we don't do this again.
Yeah.
It's hard to read minds though, but definitely if you can have an island person on your ticket, the party's gonna be a lot more fun. Just it works.
I honestly think it has a little bit to do with the fact that she is Jamaican American, but at the same time, it's the numbers. Years and years ago, I would say about 7 years ago, when I was deciding to start Island Fever, I was told point blank, there's no power in the Caribbean community. It's not important. You're wasting your time, right? But now, these people are starting to pay attention. People in the legislature are starting to pay attention. They're starting to pay attention to who we are, because a lot of us are in positions of power in businesses as well. Where some of us are making money, some of us are professors, some of us are business leaders, some of us are activists. And they're realizing the African American connection to Caribbean heritage. And finally,
you can't generalize.
Starting to pay attention to us.
I think what's helping us now is that, again, a lot of these rooms where the decision is being made is starting to look a little bit more. It's starting to look a little bit more. So maybe back in 2008, if you walked into the room and you tried to explain to them, yeah, we need to reach out to Black folks, but Black folks aren't just all Black. Like, there's flavors to us. You try to explain that they're gonna look at you like you're crazy. Like,
yeah,
bro, take this budget and sit down and make it work. But I do think some of the decision makers are can relate more, even if they're not from the community. The friend is, the girl is.
Yes,
they like to go to Alabama on the weekend.
Yeah, right.
They like to go to the grill for a little their chicken and a patty once in a while. So
Grills Jamaica restaurant, Kirkman Road, which is where the tiki bar is. I like my guineas. I just have to put that in there. But
it's helpful. It's helpful when people can relate and recognize you a little bit more.
Absolutely.
So I think we're definitely seeing it, and I think it's happening on the Republican side as well. Again, the rooms are starting to look a little. Yeah, absolutely.
Which part?
Absolutely.
Minnesota.
Listen, last year they had a candidate that, and I'll just speak from my perspective. They had a candidate that, if you were Haitian, you had an opinion on it, because the name Clinton means something in our community. It's personal.
Right.
So yeah, they may not have been speaking directly to our issues, and maybe they weren't like listening to us all the way, but they also didn't nominate the person that we have a beef with. You see what I mean?
Yeah, but my whole argument on that thing too, as an outsider looking in, because I know nothing about what happened there. I'm not Haitian.
So
right? So I can't have like a real opinion on that. What I can say is, as somebody who runs a business, sometimes your minions do stuff and you don't know till you are made aware. But you're the person that gets in for it.
And then you know what you do when that happens? You take accountability.
Come on,
because I've seen you bite the bullet for mistakes that were made under you. That happens. It usually happens when it's one of us more so than
most people don't. Right? Especially politicians. They're not going to cop to that. That was a serious thing. No, I mean, how could she run for president and cop to that? Like,
Well, you didn't cop to it and you
I
lost.
just feel like the hate is misguided. That's all I'm saying. I feel like the hate needs to be to the person within the foundation that did it, and not necessarily the person whose name is on the paperwork.
If the hate is misguided, then guide it. Take accountability and guide it where it needs to go. It's simple. Like, just be.
No, but by that time, nobody wanted to hear. They were all like, la, 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 la.
A little late. Yeah. You already announced that, forget it all. But we're rehashing stuff.
Right.
What I'm saying is this. The rooms are starting, people are starting to, nobody says that they have a black friend anymore.
Right. No,
and
they still do.
They still,
but I get what
we're in a transition point. You know what I'm saying?
We are.
Yeah. Like it's not, I don't get stared at as much as I used to a couple years ago. I still get stared at, but not as much. I think that's progress.
Yeah.
So
I think George Floyd kind of changed things, but that's for a whole nother discussion. For this, let's target on what we'll talk about race in one of our next videos in the coming weeks. But for right now, it's all about early voting. So what's the pulse out there in the streets with young people and voting? What are you hearing from your friends, your neighbors, your colleagues, your peeps on social media? Because we know you're an influencer and all.
We're annoyed. It's been a really frustrating year. And again, I said at the beginning of this conversation that I didn't care to watch like the town hall this year, the debate. I forced myself to sit through it, and I regretted it immediately after. It's like, it was one thing to elect the reality show like the reality show person, like the caricature, but now it's almost like the entire system is a caricature. It's like, on the one hand, you're telling us that, young people need to be active and we need to use our voice and this, that, and the third, y'all the leaders, blase, blase. And then we get a 70-something-year-old nominee. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we're just over it. We're over it.
But hey, we got a vice presidential nominee who is the youngest.
Okay.
I mean, no, what you have to understand, and I don't think you see what's happening here. What's happening here is Joe Biden has to do 8 years. Joe's probably going to do 6.
Maybe 4.
Oh, no, he has to do 6.
God forbid. God forbid. But the man looks old.
Yeah, but he's vital. He's healthy. He's fine. Trust me. My grandma's 86, and if you see her, she's more healthier than me.
Your grandma looks way better than Joe right now. And she's not going to be president.
Anyways, he's been there. Here's why I think he's fine to be president. He's been there. He's done it. He knows the stress of the job. It won't overwhelm him the way it did Barack, the way it did everybody else who went in for the first time. He's been there. So he understands what's coming. Does that make sense? Also, he's a very strong vice president who will make her voice known, who will go against him if she needs to. And if something happens to Joe, we have a black female president.
I was watching SNL. I was watching SNL and from a couple years ago because I was depressed, and I watch SNL when I'm depressed. And they were talking about how Obama left for like a trip overseas, and they left Joe in his office, and he had all his pictures set up, and he had his feet on the desk, and he was having a great time. And then Barack came back, and it was sort of like, okay, the adult's back now. I gotta pack up and go back to his office. But that's really what it's like.
Yeah.
So, being vice president, like you cut ribbon.
But Joe listens to her. Okay. He does listen to her. Her and Bo were really good friends. And so he's known her for many, many years. I really and truly believe that he is going to work with her, Barack, Michelle, and do better for us. I mean, look what he's inheriting. We can't go anywhere but up. Pretty much, right? What we need to focus on, and I think this is where I feel is really important. The races we need to focus on is, obviously we got to elect Joe Biden if black people want to stay out of concentration camps and stuff. Like, I really think Trump would go there. I honestly think so, because he's done everything else that Hitler has done. Everything else, even his speeches are of Hitler. But I digress. What I feel, and this is history, like you can put his speeches beside each other and they're the same thing. So this is not something that's controversial at all. It's legit the truth. It's fact. So moving on, Jay. Don't give me that face. So if we elect, right, candidate Biden, at least I know I won't end up in a concentration camp. They won't come take my car or my house away or whatever away from me because that's what they did to the Jewish people. And I don't see why this administration wouldn't allow it. So who we need to get out of office right now is every single Republican congressperson. All of them. They all gotta go because they are all complicit. He couldn't do any of this by himself. He needed them to be complicit, and they all were. This is just as much their fault as it is everybody his fault. He's an idiot. He can't change. What irks me are the educated people who know better, the career politicians who understand what was going to occur if they let it, and they let him do it anyway, so they could pack the court with judges to send our boys to prison, to vote against female rights, right? To vote against abortion or Planned Parenthood or just female reproductive health. I don't know why these old white men are so preoccupied with wombs. It's like they want one for themselves. It's ridiculous. But for real. But seriously speaking, don't you believe that these people should be held accountable? Mitch McConnell should be voted out. He's fighting for his life right now in Tennessee, although I doubt those people are not going to vote for him. But right now it's like 40-something, 50-something. It's
Kentucky has a Democratic governor. He might lose.
It's who?
Kentucky, his state. They have a Democratic governor.
No, I'm talking about Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, Mitch from Kentucky.
Tennessee.
Kentucky.
No, Mitch is from Tennessee. Oh, yeah.
Hey,
okay.
If you're watching this, jump in the comments and Google it and jump in the comments and let us know who's right.
Okay, fine.
We'll send you a t-shirt.
All right, fine. Yeah, we'll send you an I Love You Very Much t-shirt if you let us know. Okay, so, all right, if you're right, you're right. It's one of them states. And what I love is what's going on in Carolina. Lindsey Graham is going to lose. And all those long voting lines that are frustrating people, there are people who are going to change their mind in that line. You think making people wait 11 hours to vote is not going to let them change their mind about who's responsible for that? Whether or not, if I was voting Republican and I had to wait 11 hours to vote, I would vote Democrat. Just for my
But you're not Republican.
No, I'm not.
Like at the end of the day, it's like
reasoning is different.
We don't even it's like 16 all over again. It didn't make sense then. It doesn't make sense now, but we can't say it could never happen because it happened. So
right. But do you think he's gonna win again? In closing,
I think the people whose job it is to make sure he doesn't win need to tighten up, because they were really arrogant last time and he ran y'all through the ground.
I think they're working. I don't think they're working as much in Central Florida as they should.
I don't know how in what world does that make sense?
I feel like there's a lot of work being done in South Florida, but I feel like in Central Florida, it's almost seen as a lost cause almost. And there's so many of us here who are just not having it. There's so many Biden signs on the streets now, but I notice in the Black community, they're all Trump signs. And I'm going, what's going on? Like, where are the Biden people? What's going on?
Even think about it last time, and I guess this will be the last thing I say. When Trump won and he came to Central Florida, he didn't come to like Narcoossee or like East Orlando where he thought he came to Pine Hills. in the middle of the black community and had his rally and had all of his people come out of wherever they were at and they pulled up and
Yeah,
they
where
were
did
out
all
there.
these people come from in Pine Hills?
Huh?
Like Mike Pence had his thing in Pine Hills too last weekend. And I was like, what?
But they do things that Democrats should do. But they do things that Democrats should do, because if you're a Democrat, why wouldn't you go into like a Republican stronghold and have a rally there? It's like a show of force. Democrats don't operate like that.
No.
And that hurts them in the long run.
And you know, I was having this discussion with a friend of mine, and he was saying the same thing. Democrats don't have balls. They're too decent.
Did I just get us demonetized?
And you've got to be a brawler to beat somebody like Trump. You got to throw on, you got to pull up them sleeves, cut some throats, get in the fight. Because if you don't get into the fight, you're going to get run over by these bullies. You got to stand up to these bullies. Oh, they're messing with all the norms. You're not supposed to put political signs in the middle of the highways. Well, they're doing
deep, the whole median.
Like they're doing.
And I think that's what I think that's really what's contributing to like young people that like me that are just like, we don't like, they were talking so much junk about, oh, they're not gonna replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg. They're not gonna replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg. We're gonna tear it down if they try to replace. The next week, the man had his nominee.
But
in the Rose Garden.
Like Congress. They don't control the Senate, and that's the problem, which brings me back to the point I've been trying to make. The Senate, people, you need to know who your senators are. Black people, please know who your local government people are. Know who your senator is. And not because they're black, mean they're kinfolk, okay? Because we got some attorney generals like the one not our attorney general now. I'm just saying the man in charge of Brown and Taylor, there are a lot of black people like that. So know who you're voting for. Which brings me to judges. I'm pretty much the Florida Supreme Court, everybody on there was appointed by a Republican. Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, please jump into the comments and let me know if I'm wrong. So here's my question to the people.
Spoiler alert, she's not wrong.
My question to the people of color is this. If you know not one of those people were appointed by people with your belief system as judges of the Florida Supreme Court, what do you think you're supposed to do? Crickets? I'll let that one simmer. I'll let that one simmer. I'm just saying, you know.
I'm not excited.
You're a blue person. Obviously, you know what to do.
Yeah. The only thing I'm excited about this year is I have this little movement that I'm trying to get some momentum behind. And it's just vote local. Mm-hmm. Like, leave the reality show stuff to them. Like, let them do their thing. Don't even give them the ratings, because that's what they're doing it for. Like, we're not even having a substantive conversation when the man is on TV.
Biden in this reality show thing, because he's not even taking part in this nonsense. This is all Trump. Come on now.
Didn't he show up to the first one? What did he think? Anyway.
No,
vote local.
Vote local.
Vote local.
By the committee who organizes these things, and
vote local.
Vote local. Okay, that's true. Voting local. So we covered judges. We're gonna come back next week, and we're gonna talk a little bit about the amendments. I'm gonna have a video coming about the amendments. Now, there are a ton of amendments on the ballot, and they're pretty difficult to explain. Some of them are trickily numbered, like ones that we did vote for the last election. So you want to make sure you know what it is you're voting for. So we're going to do a little quick video. We're going to put it up this week coming, so you know what amendments you need to vote for. Okay, that video is going to be up by Wednesday, and you can check that out. That's going to be our next video. I feel like that's it for us here on Island Viva Live. 30 minutes of chit chatter with my friend Jay. And of course, remember to catch Island Fever FM on your radio on 98.5 FM in Orlando on the weekends. And of course, on Dash Satellite Radio. Okay. And that will be on the Delicious Vinyl Station on Sundays. You can get your very best music spinning from our DJs. We have multiple DJs here at Island Fever FM from representing different islands and different cultures, because that's what we're all about. Island Fever FM is about the entire Caribbean, not just Jamaica, Haiti, and Trinidad, but all the other islands within the Caribbean. So drop us a line. Let us know what's going on in your country. If there's something you want us to talk about here on Island Fever Live, head to our Instagram account, Island Fever FM, and shoot us a message on our Facebook page as well. Let us know what you want us to talk about on Island Fever Live with me and Jay. All right, Jay. I see you next week, and we can talk a little bit more. Jay's also going to be doing some interviews with political candidates. So am I. We're going to do our best to give you what is going on here in election 2020 from the Caribbean American perspective here on Island Fever FM and in Central Florida. So, and the state of Florida. All right. Glad to see you, Jay. Glad to talk with you. Take care, everybody. We'll chat to you soon. Bye-bye.